So here it is. This is the collection as of 2023, moving into 2024. Don't think it'll change too much, but knowing me, it very much will, because I'm sure last time I did some kind of collection video, it was very different to this. Things come and go. I doubt any of these will, to be honest with you, because they're all special, and that's what this video is about. Why does a watch reviewer end up keeping these specific watches? These all got a little story behind them. I'll try not to waffle on forever, but those of you who are here like these kind of list videos, and all of these watches have a story. Some shorter than others, so let's get on with it. So let's get the ball rolling with the watch I've had the longest. I got this on my honeymoon, the year 2012. So I've had this for approaching 12 years now. I bought this in Lahaina, which is in Maui. That is sadly the place which got burnt down. That's even more reason why this watch is even more significant, because I remember it felt like yesterday, the shop that I went in to buy this, and that shop is gone. It's just shocking. So happy memories when I was there. It's a glorious, beautiful place, and I wasn't as into watches 12 years ago as I am now, but I have always appreciated watches. The reason why I bought this watch is because I just love the look of it. I like all the blue and yellow elements, great specification. I like the fact it's solar powered. I like having a world timer. I was thinking, well, I'm on my travels, I'm going to do more traveling, which I have, and I've worn this in lots of different parts of the world. It's great. It does everything. You've got radio controlled accuracy, very wearable, and go in the water with it. I've had this in the sea, I've had this in swimming pools. This is a go anywhere, do anything watch that is still for sale today. It's one of those watches that is part of their long-standing lineup, and I'm glad they still sell it. Splashed out on a 23mm wide Marine National strap, custom fitted to my wrist size, with the blue and the yellow to match the watch. And this just takes it up a whole new level, the wearability of this piece. And I'm so glad I got this strap, because I just didn't like the standard strap. It's one of the main things. And this is a hard watch to put straps on because of the 23mm lug width, first of all. And secondly, it's got curved spring bars, which are a pain in the butt for getting fitment. It's actually perfect for this type of strap. It wears beautifully. So comfortable with these Marine National straps. And I know they're expensive. I know you can get things cheaper, but I just like supporting these independent businesses sometimes. You know, I know where this has been made. It's custom to me. The quality's outstanding. That's why I'm happy to justify spending a bit more on certain products. This is a fun watch. 12 years later, the battery life is still very good. It doesn't hold the charge as long as it used to, but it can still fully charge. I've had this kind of in a darker part of my room for months now, and I don't wear it as much as I used to, and it's still got a 3/4 charge, so that gives you an idea of how well this watch is holding out. So fantastic watch. Let's move on to the next one. A more recent acquisition. This is a brand new CWC G10. I love this because it's ticking the box of my military field watch of the collection. Previous one was the chronograph. So I've always believe a collection should be varied and rounded, and I like the fact that having this kind of watch is very wearable. It's a good everyday watch. It can be a beta watch. It's the kind of thing you can go anywhere and do almost anything with, apart from maybe going for a swim in, because the water resistance is terrible. Not tested it, and I really don't care, but I love the look of it. It's rugged, it's simple, it's charming. It's got history, it's got pedigree. It's still made by the same company that made the original watches that were provided to the military, but they don't provide to the military anymore. They just sell to us civilians. But they still make the watches all to original specification. Battery hatch for easy battery change. Some details on the back about the watch. Obviously they're not relevant now because it's not actually a military issue. Weird things are fixed lugs. It's part of the military specification, so they're not going to break. It's really tough. It's got an unusual 19mm lug width. But the good thing is, you can buy straps quite easily for just over £10 from CWC, and that's where I got this from. I got this for Christmas. This has got matching hardware, well, near enough. It's brushed rather than bead blasted, but that's beside the point. The good thing is, the quality of their straps is ridiculous. They're so tough and rugged. I've had them before on an older one that I restored. Check out the video if you haven't seen that, where I effectively rebuild one and get it working again. These are tough as old boots, really clear and easy to read, and I just think they're beautiful in their elegance and simplicity. Hugely comfortable, very wearable, slips under a cuff nicely. You barely notice it on your wrist because it's so light. Dinky little 35mm case size, and doesn't look too small just because the dimensions are just really well balanced. And having the hardware on this NATO strap really helps make the watch have a little bit more wrist presence, and it's still very slim on the wrist, even though I haven't trimmed off any of the extra strap material like I sometimes do on these NATO style straps. I love this. This is a real keeper because of everything I've just mentioned. I love it. It's got real importance to me, this watch. So we've covered chronograph, we've covered field, military watch. Now we've got an everyday wear piece, and that's where this comes in. I wanted a Japanese watch. I wanted something that's got everyday wearability, good comfortable size, good specification. You can't go wrong with an Orient star. This is on par with the Saab range, which have been discontinued. This cost me £399 from Tuss Watches. I Couldn't have had a better experience. It came in really fast time. The $3.99 included delivery. It was beautifully packaged. And the watch itself is beautiful. I've done a review of this watch. You want to find out more. But what can I say more about this watch other than it's Japanese made. It's £400. The fit and finish is really lovely. It's not perfect, but it's extremely good. And it's very comfortable. And it's so easy to quickly slip on and enjoy for the day. 100 meters water resist, so you can go in the pool with this if you want to. It's dressy enough because of all the lovely polished indices and Dauphine hands. There's lume in there. I love the power indicator. Some people hate it, but I love it. It's got some character to it. Even got the date complication. Just makes my life easier. And the pin and collar adjustment on the bracelet was a bit fiddly, but once it's done, I've got perfect fitment. It's so comfortable. Lovely watch for everyday wear, looking dressy, or even just wearing with shorts and a t-shirt. Such a versatile watch, and I think everyone should have in their collection an everyday wear versatile piece. This ticks the boxes, and so many counts. Now we've got something a bit special here. This is the production version of the Radcliffe Le Dome. Hugely successful on Kickstarter, smashed its targets by an unbelievable amount. It's been a huge success, and I was so proud to be part of sharing this watch with you guys in the community. Had some mixed feedback, but you know what? Very vocal people do not say the whole story, because this watch was a smash hit in the sales. And at the end of the day, you want watches to be sold, you want people to enjoy the watches, and that is what has been a huge success for this watch. I love to put it on a ostrich strap because it contrasts gorgeous with the blue guilloche dial. The thing that's unique about this watch is these domed discs in here, which are lumed as well, which tell the time. So it's easy to say it is nearly 11 o'clock, so it's 10:40 nearly. Really simple to get your eyes tuned into it. I love the fact it's skeletonized at this part. You can see inside, it's got this polished cage element that's domed as well over that, so you can see the watch movement inside. And then you've got a decorated guilloche style pattern rotor on this custom Seiko movement, and this was less than £500. It's just gorgeous, and this is AR coated, very high dome sapphire, and it wears so beautifully considering it's a bonkers watch with a very, very thick dome crystal. I think it's very easy to have a watch collection that could be arguably end up being a bit vanilla. This is an example of a watch which is certainly not vanilla. This is something which is with chili flakes on top. It is bonkers. You've got this kind of unique look which you just don't get with most watches unless you're spending serious money. So it's got that high-end look for a lot less money. Moving on to, I think you've got to have in the collection a mod watch. If you're remotely interested in building your own watches, or building a watch to have that exact look that you're looking for, or just have a go at it to feel like you've got something that is part of watch culture. Modifying Seikos is a big deal in the watch loving community. Not everyone's into it, of course. I mean, it would be unfair to say if you like watches you've got to have a mod. Not true. I do like it. I like tinkering, I like fiddling with watches. I've done a lot of homage watches, a lot of tinkering with those, and Vostoks, because they're all very affordable. I decided to splash out a bit because they're a bit more expensive to work on. I built this. If you haven't seen the video, it's done rather well, and I'm very proud of the way that has been received, and I'm so proud of how the watch has come out, because this was the SRPD 55K1, the black dial version of the sports watch, which has effectively the modern reissue, if you will, of the old SKX 007. Not a dive watch anymore, it's a sports watch. I know people slag these off so much because they say, oh, they've ditched the screw down crown and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't care, I don't go diving. I can go about as deep as a swimming pool because I have a very vulnerable eardrum. So I do not care, ironically, about dive watches, even though I've coming up is a very, very nice dive watch. Point is, I like the fact of how this looks, and it's got a fidget tool on the bezel. But I wanted this to look slimmer. I just didn't like quite the chunkiness of the SKX style case and how it wore, more importantly. I like a chunky watch as long as it wears well. This originally wore a little bit top heavy, and that's where I decided to do some research, found some mods which effectively reduced the height of the bezel. So I've got a knurled one with a flat bezel insert made of ceramic, sapphire, scratch resistance on top, lume pip, didn't have that before, much thinner case back, half the thickness, half the weight. Makes the wearability dramatically different, and that's the fun of modding. I like to go, well, I've got in my mind exactly how I want this watch to look. I bought the bits, plus a strap. You could spend a lot of money on modding watches, but you know what? I'm addicted to this watch and I adore it. So it's worth every penny. And as I said, the wearability is significantly better. It just hugs the wrist better. No gappage going on under here. Slimmer and flatter on the top. Less blocky on the sides, but it still has that elegance to it. I think anyone who's remotely interested in watches and maybe tinkering, watch some of my mod videos and you get an idea of what you can do, how much it actually costs with different types of watches. You can go cheap, you can do Casio Duro, you can do Vostoks, you can do homage watches. I've I've done a number of watches which have lots of parts which are available easily to change. And then you can splash out if you want to and do an Orient, or here we are, a Seiko. You've got to give it a go. And I'm so proud to have a mod watch in the collection. Got two more watches, guys. Both of them Omegas. But one is not a proper Omega. And you'll see why. It is the MoonSwatch. This was a special gift. This is my fun, sentimental watch because this was gifted to me by my wife and son for Christmas this year. I adore it. I've been talking about getting one of these for a long time. Before even the hype kicked off, I was kind of in the hype train. I did a video about trying to get one of these and I couldn't get one. So I just patiently waited. Guess what? I was in Covent Garden this Christmas, went in the swatch shop just being nosy, and I had everything apart from Neptune and Mercury available. I was like, the one I want is this one. It's my son and I's one of our favourite planets. I love the colourway. I like that pairing up with this Artem sand coloured strap. Works beautifully with this dial. And I just think it's a fun everyday wearable watch as well. It's gorgeous. I love timing things. I time my son when we clean our teeth together. I time cooking. I just think it looks great. I love the splash of colour with the orange. You can pair this up with a number of different straps. You'd be surprised how many it works with. Obviously sand, you can pair it with a nice earthy green or an orange rubber, a sandy NATO, olive NATO. There's so many different straps this surprisingly work with. Dark brown leather, you name it. It is impressive what this pairs up well with. I know it's got its flaws, the build quality is not breathtaking, but you know what? I'm enjoying this watch. I love it. I don't care what the naysayers say. I got this for me. My family know I'm a watch nerd. This is a nerdy watch lover's paradise as well as a fashion fad. I fall into the nerdy paradise camp and I don't care what people think. I love it. So last but not least, the crown jewel of the collection, my midlife crisis watch, and it is this, my Omega. I adore this watch. I have worn this here, there and everywhere. I've worn this doing stuff around the house. I've worn this at work. I've worn this in the ocean. I have worn this in a swimming pool. I've worn this at parties, doing exercise, doing everything. This is my go anywhere, do anything, super duper, I love you, do everything watch. I am struggling for words because this was a dream watch. I hit 40 last year. And I decided to have my midlife crisis watch be purchased. I went to Mapping Web in Guildford and I said, I want that one. After months of deliberation beforehand, it was an agonising choice. And I am so pleased that I finally made my decision and got this. I've paired it up with this gorgeous Artem strap I bought. I wanted a strap which had that immediate quick slip on and off you go practicality. Got a few battle scars here and there. It's got scratches and knocks. Nothing dramatically bad. I enjoy my watches, but also am careful. It's keeping amazing time. It's running a tiny bit slow. Weirdly, Omega say Metas COSC certified it will never, quote, never run slow. Mine actually does. I really don't care. It is still super accurate. It's kept amazing time over a year and 4 months, and I just adore it. It's a strap monster. Goes with everything. It wears beautifully. It's got everything that I would look for in a watch. It's a bigger watch, 42 mil, 13 and a bit mil thick, including the crystal, but it wears like a 40 mil watch. It really does. It's so well balanced and beautifully designed. I adore it. And I think a good way to finish the video, the state of the collection, is the watch is just 100% a keeper. I'm never going to go deeper than a few meters in a swimming pool, but I just like the nerdy James Bond factor. I fell in love with the Omega from GoldenEye. That's when they introduced Omega to the Bond franchise. And I'm a watch nerd, gadget nerd, movie nerd, James Bond lover. Combine that together. Finally, I'm middle-aged, about the age James Bond is. Here I am, a guy that works in a museum, wearing a watch that will never go deeper than a swimming pool. So that's me in a nutshell. Hope you've enjoyed my collection. It's a bit of an update, very waffly, but you know what? People who like these list videos don't just want just a 5-second, here it is, off you go. I like talking. That's why I've got a YouTube channel. And I hope you've stayed to the end and enjoyed my waffle, because I've enjoyed sharing it with you guys. Thanks for watching my very self-indulgent collection video, because they are actually, when you think of it, it's like, look what I've got, look at me. But no, it's just something that's a bit of fun. And those of you who have watched, really appreciate it. See you again in another one. A lot more videos coming. All the best. Bye for now.